Hello everyone, welcome to my Teen Mom News channel. In today's video, you'll learn something you've never heard before, so don't skip a second and keep an eye on our channel. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up to get all the hottest updates, hottest moments, and hottest news from the teen mom world all in one place. Teen Mom star Kailyn Lowry had an interesting year. At the beginning of the year, she got her tummy tuck and lipo 360 surgery and healed from it. Soon after, she broke up with her fiancé, Elijah, after he cheated on her. Following this, a chaos of accusations surrounded her. Her ex accused her of not being a good mother, claiming she prioritized her love life over her children. Kailyn did not react to the accusations and continued with her life. In the meantime, several rumors about her love life surfaced, but the diva did not respond to them. Soon, she got a tattoo for her kids and even underwent another surgery to remove the extra skin around her neck. She wanted to have a chiseled jawline. In the midst of all this chaos, many people questioned her capabilities as a mother. Kailyn finally replied once and for all to all the trolls. Teen Mom, Kailyn talks about mom guilt. Today, we're diving into a deeply emotional and relatable topic from the world of teen mom. Kailyn Lowry, one of the most talked about stars from the MTV franchise, has opened up about something that so many parents, especially moms, struggle with every single day: mom guilt. If you've been following Kailyn's journey, you know that her life has been a roller coaster of highs and lows, from becoming a teen mom at a young age to raising multiple children while balancing her career, public scrutiny, and personal challenges. But recently, she's been more candid than ever, admitting that even with all of her success and experience, she still battles with that overwhelming feeling of not being enough for her kids. In today's video, we'll explore exactly what Kailyn said, the context behind her emotional confession, the struggles of motherhood in the spotlight, and how her story resonates with millions of moms around the world. We'll also break down fan reactions, the broader conversation about mom guilt in modern society, and how Kailyn's openness could actually be helping to change the narrative about what it really means to be a good mom. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's take a deep dive into Kailyn's world, her emotional revelations, and why this moment has touched so many people. Kailyn Lowry first entered the public eye as a teenager on MTV 16 and Pregnant back in 2010. At the time, she was just a young woman trying to navigate the difficult reality of becoming a mom while still figuring out her own life. Her story immediately stood out because of the challenges she faced, not just financially, but emotionally and socially. Kailyn grew up in a fractured family environment, with limited support from her parents, which made her journey into motherhood even more complicated. She didn't have the safety net that many young moms might rely on, and instead, she had to figure out how to raise her son Isaac largely on her own. Her time on Teen Mom 2 introduced fans to her resilience, but also to her struggles. Viewers saw Kailyn try to balance education, jobs, relationships, and parenting, all while under the harsh microscope of reality TV. Unlike some of the other cast members, who had more family support systems, Kailyn was often portrayed as independent, determined, and sometimes even stubborn. That independence became one of her defining traits. She refused to let her circumstances dictate her future, and she pushed herself to go to college, work multiple jobs, and create stability for Isaac. Over the years, her story expanded as her family grew. After her relationship with Joe Rivera, Isaac's father, ended, she went on to have more children with different partners, Lincoln with Javi Marroquin, and Lux and Creed with Chris Lopez. Most recently, Kailyn welcomed twins with her current partner Elijah Scott. Each relationship came with its own set of struggles and headlines, and each child added new layers of responsibility to her already full life. For fans, watching Kailyn juggle it all became both inspiring and, at times, heartbreaking. The reason her story resonates so deeply is because Kailyn never pretends that everything is perfect. She doesn't sugarcoat the struggles of being a mom, especially a single mom at times, and she doesn't shy away from showing her frustrations, mistakes, and regrets. That kind of raw honesty is rare in reality TV, where so many people try to maintain an image of perfection. With Kailyn, what you see is what you get. Fast forward to today, Kailyn is now a mom of 7, a podcaster, an author, and a public figure who still deals with criticism at every turn. She's built a successful career outside of MTV, with multiple podcasts, a social media following, and a brand that focuses on authenticity. But behind the success, she still faces one of the most universal struggles of motherhood, feeling guilty about not being enough for her kids. That's the context behind her recent emotional revelations. To really understand her confession about mom guilt, it's important to know just how much she's carried on her shoulders for over a decade. From navigating co-parenting conflicts to managing the chaos of a blended family, Kailyn has been through it all, and that makes her story about guilt even more powerful. Recently, on her podcast and through social media posts, Kailyn has been incredibly transparent about her struggles with mom guilt. She admitted that even though she loves her children more than anything, there are days when she feels like she's falling short. She worries about whether she's spending enough one-on-one time with each child, whether she's providing enough stability, and whether her busy career takes too much away from her role as a mother. Teen mom, Kailyn Lowry defends her credibility as a parent. Today we've got a big story from the teen mom world, and it's all about Kailyn Lowry. If you've followed her journey, you already know she's one of the most talked about moms in the franchise. And this time, she's speaking out loud and clear, defending her credibility as a parent. That's right. After facing another round of criticism, Kailyn is clapping back and letting people know she refuses to let strangers online define her role as a mom. But why is this coming up now? And what exactly is she defending herself from? Stick around, because we're breaking it all down, the controversy, the history, the fan reactions, and of course, what this means for Kailyn and her kids. So here's what happened. Recently, Kailyn found herself under fire, again. People online started questioning her parenting decisions. And not just in passing, there were full-on threads and debates about whether she's a credible parent. Some said her busy career keeps her away from her kids. Others brought up her complicated co-parenting relationships. And of course, there were those who just wanted to drag her because, well, she's Kailyn, and she's been a lightning rod for criticism since day one. But Kailyn wasn't having it. She fired back on her platforms, her podcast, her socials, making it clear that people only see tiny clips of her life. They don't see the full story. And according to her, the full story is that she works hard, provides for her kids, and makes sure they are loved and cared for. In her own words, she's not letting anyone define her worth as a mother. Now, let's rewind for a second. Because to really understand why this moment matters, we need to go back to where Kailyn's story began. Kailyn first came into the spotlight on 16 and Pregnant back in 2010. Fans met her as a teenager raising her son Isaac with her then-boyfriend Joe Rivera. She was juggling school, work, and motherhood, often without much support from her own family. From there, she joined Teen Mom 2, and her life became part of the MTV universe. Over the years, we saw her navigate multiple relationships, co-parenting struggles, and all the challenges of raising kids while being watched by millions of viewers. By the time she left the franchise, Kailyn had become one of the most recognizable, and, honestly, one of the most controversial, stars in teen mom history. And with that fame came judgment. Every decision she made, every child she had, every relationship she entered, people had something to say about it. Fast forward to today. Kailyn is now the mom of 5 kids, Isaac, Lincoln, Lux, Creed, and Rio. Each child has a different father, and that fact alone has been a major talking point for years. People online love to say that her life looks chaotic, that her relationships don't last, that she's not creating stability. But Kailyn has always said that outsiders don't understand what it takes to raise kids in a blended family. She's been honest about the ups and downs of co-parenting, the schedules, the disagreements, the compromises. And she's admitted that while her life may look messy to outsiders, her kids are loved, supported, and cared for in every way that matters. Supporters point out that she provides financial stability, emotional attention, and opportunities for her children. Critics, well, they just see the drama. So why is her parenting credibility being questioned right now? It all goes back to the spotlight she's in. Every single move Kailyn makes gets dissected online. Recently, people started saying she spends more time on her podcasting career than with her kids. Others claim that she stirs drama online for attention, which in their eyes, makes her look like she's not focusing on motherhood. It's the same cycle over and over again. Kailyn does something, people criticize, and then the narrative becomes, is she even a good mom? This time, though, she drew a line. She said, look, the reason she works hard on her businesses and podcasts is to provide for her children. She's building a future for them. And she refuses to accept the idea that being career-focused makes her any less of a parent. In her own defense, Kailyn has said that the public only sees a fraction of her life. What they don't see are the moments that matter most: school drop-offs, sports games, bedtime routines, family vacations. She's explained that she's there for her kids in all the ways that count. And while the internet might love to criticize, her children know the truth about who she is as a mom. One of her strongest points? That she grew up without the stability and love that she's now giving her kids. For her, breaking that cycle is proof enough of her credibility as a parent. Now, as always, the teen mom fandom is divided. On one side, you have the supporters. They say Kailyn is strong for standing up for herself. They remind people that parenting doesn't mean perfection, it means love, effort, and showing up. And they also point out that moms are judged far more harshly than dads in similar situations. On the other side, you have the critics. These are the fans who believe her lifestyle creates instability. They argue that if she really wanted to prove her credibility, she'd focus less on drama and more on creating peace in her personal life. The debate is ongoing, and honestly, it's nothing new. Kailyn has been splitting the fan base for more than a decade. But here's what's interesting. Kailyn's defense isn't just about her. It taps into a much bigger issue: how society judges moms, especially moms who had kids young. Think about it. Kailyn is in her 30s now. She's not that teenager we first saw on MTV. But she's still being judged as if she's frozen in time, as if she's not allowed to grow, change, or evolve beyond her teenage years. That's part of why she's so passionate about defending herself. Because for her, it's not just about protecting her own image, it's about pushing back against the idea that moms have to fit into a narrow definition of credible or respectable. Of course, this isn't easy for her. Kailyn has admitted before that constant criticism affects her mental health. When people tell her she's not a good mom, it stings. It makes her question herself, even though she knows deep down she's doing her best. But here's the thing, she refuses to let that negativity win. She said that she wants her kids to see her as strong, resilient, and unapologetic. She wants them to know that when life throws criticism your way, you stand tall and keep going. So what does this mean for Kailyn's future? Well, for one thing, she's showing that she's not afraid to control her own narrative. Instead of letting tabloids or online trolls define her, she's speaking directly to fans and saying, "This is who I am, this is how I parent, and this is why I don't need validation from strangers." She's also hinted that she's focusing more on personal growth, her businesses, and her kids' future. If she can continue to share that side of her story, maybe fans will start to see her in a different light. At the end of the day, Kailyn Lowry's story is complicated, messy, and very, very public. but that doesn't mean she's not a credible parent. Her willingness to defend herself shows just how much she cares about her kids and her reputation as their mom. Whether you love her or dislike her, one thing is clear: Kailyn refuses to let anyone else decide her worth as a parent. And in a world where judgment is constant and drama never seems to stop, that kind of strength is something worth noticing. So, what do you think? Is Kailyn right to defend her credibility as a parent? Or do critics have a point about the instability in her life? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is far from over. If you liked today's update, please like and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our Teen Mom News channel so that you don't miss any new updates. If you are interested in any specific news or information, please let us know in the comments. We will try to provide the right information according to your needs. Stay tuned for the next update and take care of yourself. Thank you.